salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm your Texas Ag Coach Commissioner, Sid Miller. Hey, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD-TV. Now today, we're going to talk about the positive impact horses can have on your mental and physical well-being. Horses are large, powerful animals that have a unique ability to connect and respond to humans. And they've done it for thousands and thousands of years. The nature of working with horses offers opportunities for growth and healing, and many Texans have turned to horses for a new special kind of therapy. Equine-assisted therapy is a form of healing and empowerment that comes from the connection with a horse. Now, this style of therapy has become widely popular over the years, especially for at-risk youth and youth with disabilities. Animal-assisted activities improve self-confidence, self-awareness, and discipline, and it does it in a fun and safe environment. Now, basic interaction between children and horses like grooming, feeding, leading, and riding provide lasting life lessons for youth to apply in their everyday lives. Learning from their equine interactions helps them succeed and function at a higher level, both physically and mentally. Children with autism or stroke, emotional disturbances, developmental delay, and even family discard are just a few examples of who best responds to equine-assisted activities. Supportive and positive experiences with horses improves resiliency, leaving you feeling valued, safe, and even motivated to enhance their own God-given talents. Now, let's join Tammy Arnder as she heads to River Ranch Educational Charities to meet with Rafael Arredondo and Vanessa Fry to discuss their mission of offering a place for individuals to feel honored, empowered, and accepted through the healing experience of horses, animal, community, and nature. Equine-assisted therapy, well, it's just another way Texas agriculture matters.
We're going to take this foot and we'll put it in here.
It's a third Thursday fun day at River Ranch Educational Charities.
Straighten them up.
These kids get to interact with horses and other farm animals.
It can really bring out a sense of acceptance and calmness, relaxation, of being able to be your authentic self without worrying about how you look, what you have on, how tall you are, what you drive, where you work. You know, the horses and animals, they're gonna feel how your attitude is if you're kind to them. They're gonna respond to you in a very authentic, down-to-earth, in-the-moment way.
Here at the Texas Horse Park, you're just minutes from downtown Dallas. So a lot of these youngsters come from the city and have never stepped foot on a farm or ranch.
Get the urban community to understand what does happen on a ranch. And more importantly to me is, how do we interact? And so how do we gain empathy as human beings? And to me, this is one avenue, is being with horses, making that bridge, that understanding of how do we interact with the horses.
Riding lessons are offered for ages 7 years old and up. And for Camille, she wants to give Unity an experience that she may not get anywhere else, that has nothing to do with an iPad or a typical classroom.
I want her to experience and love animals and come out and touch animals, know horses and be kind to them, you know, and just have that experience, because she wouldn't be able to get that experience in the city.
It opened to communication with the parents, hoping that it's a new enlightenment for them to have fun, to understand how animals interact with human beings and with each other.
I ride the big one and the Ferris wheel.
What was that like?
It felt so satisfying. Like when there was like a bump, I was like, ah! And then I was holding tight. And when it was nice and smoothly, I was like, hey, let go of it. And I was like, oh, that feels good.
Before or after their pony ride, the children can enjoy a petting zoo. Many have never been able to pet a pig or feed a chicken.
And what we try to do here with one of our programs is teach them about that. It is a dying art form, being on a ranch, being on a farm. A lot of people confuse. It's hard to do one without the other. Right. And so being a farm, being a ranch, what does that actually mean?
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
While the third Thursday events are open to the public, the other recreational activities the rest of the week are made by appointment. Those can also include trail rides and team building exercises for adults.
Well, there is a lot of benefit. So there's just so much reward in being able to offer services and see how the kids respond, how people respond.
And we want them to be enthusiastic about how easy it is to take control of something and create your own narrative. If I can plant something that can feed me or others, how empowering is that?
Whoa, horsey.
I'm Tammy Arender for Texas Agriculture Matters.
Well, howdy, neighbors. Today it's my pleasure to have Shelby Huxon. Now, she's joining me. She's the director of the Treat Writing Program at Tarleton State University. Shelby, thanks for being with us today from my hometown. Yep. Old family friend. We go back a ways, especially me and her dad. So, first of all, tell us what TREAT stands for.
Yeah, so TREAT stands for Tarleton Equine Assisted Therapeutic Riding.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town of Dublin. I went and got both my bachelor's degree and my master's degree from Tarleton State. Now married to David Huxon, and we've got a little sweet and wild man named Tate, 2 years old and keeping us on our toes, teaching us a lot about life.
That sounds very interesting. Tell us about this TREAT program at Tarleton State University.
Yes, sir. So we were founded in 1995. So we've been around quite a while, but that started by Dr. David Snyder, who had a big heart and a vision. I believe they started with some bicycle helmets and a couple rented horses. So we've come a long way. We're now a premier accredited center through PATH International. We have 2 instructors on staff, and we work with tons of different riders with different special needs, whether that be social, emotional, cognitive, physical, whatever the case.
Wow, that's a wide palette.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, tell us how the program works. I mean, what goes on there?
Yeah, so it's really unique because we are a part of the university. A lot of programs are partnered with the university, but not necessarily housed in the university. So we're really unique in that we are a part of the College of Agriculture and Natural Sciences, or Natural Resources, in the Department of Animal Science. That being said, I teach in the Department of Animal Science. So the students that take a class called Therapeutic Riding are learning about different disabilities and how we use the horse to help those riders progress. That being said, they then go and work hands-on, one-on-one with our riders in the program. So
tell us about the advantages of using horses for therapy versus, just regular physical therapy.
Yeah, that's one of those big questions I could take all day on, but one of the coolest parts about horses is that it provides a 360-degree rotational heated platform, which sounds fancy, but when you think about traditional therapies, you're going usually forward and backward, right, side to side. When you get on a horse, it moves us all the way around, right? When we need to relax muscles, we put them on a bareback pad, which then allows for them to feel the horse's heat. So we relax muscles quicker, which then allows them to start using muscles quicker. So the benefits, that's one of the greatest benefits that I see from using horses instead of regular therapy. But gosh, we could go on and on about just the benefits of just being on horseback, the emotional benefits, the social benefits, and being with other instructors and other volunteers, and it could go on for days, because truly I would say that the benefits are endless.
You know, I could see how riding bareback, especially if you're not a horseman, you know, that's going to get your mind off everything else.
Yes,
you're going
sir.
to concentrate on that horse. So now that one of these clients have been in your program, what is the expected outcome? What are you trying to accomplish? What's the end goal?
You know, it's different for every rider, because like I said, the different riders that we work with, they may be there for just physical therapy. Maybe we're working on core strength. Maybe we have a little one who has really low muscle tone. So we're just working on building muscle and trying to strengthen that core. We have some that come in and it's a social need, right? So we're working on getting them to communicate. So the outcome, the expected outcome is always different. It's definitely per rider. But we always expect progress. And if there's not, then we're looking at what do we need to change to do better to help them progress in whatever it is.
So. That's great. Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll have more with Shelby Huxton right here on Texas Agriculture Matters. Well, neighbors, welcome back to Texas Agriculture Matters. I'm your host, Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. Now, let's continue our talk with Shelby Huxton, who's director of the TREAT program at Tarleton State University. Now, I've got a suspicion that not only are the clients, recipients of the benefit of the TREAT program, but I bet y'all got some volunteers that get along pretty good too. Tell us about your volunteer program.
So one of the coolest things and benefits of the program is volunteering. There's something just, I like to say that it's humbling, right? You come in and you can have whatever issues going on in your day, and you watch those riders come in that you understand their hardships, maybe not from living in them, but you understand maybe their diagnosis enough to know that they struggle at school, their home life, the physical ramifications of their diagnosis are hard. And they come in with a smile, without even hesitation, jump on a horse, have the best time, and you're like, it just humbles you, puts things in perspective. And watching our volunteers and definitely our students at Tarleton that come and work in the program or volunteer, you watch them it's a heart shift. It's really neat to see. There's nothing greater than teaching them, one, a servant's heart, what that looks like, and to communicate with others that might be different than us.
So I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, I mean, I'm familiar with the program, I've been around it since '95 myself, but most of your clients are children or younger people. Most of them, probably a lot of them have never been around horses. So what's that experience like for them? Are they afraid? Can you get, do you have some that just can't do it, or how does that work?
So we actually probably have maybe 60-70% are children, and the rest are adults.
Okay.
But with that, all childlike minds when it comes to horses, right? I still get giddy when I run up to a horse. But yes, absolutely. We have some that are terrified. But I'm telling you, something about a horse, right? And you watch them walk up and they're like, their eyes get big and they get nervous. You tell them, oh, let's pet it. And to watch them overcome that fear. And in 14 years of being with the program, I've had a handful that just cried for maybe the first 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And we worked through it, and the next time they cried 5 minutes. And the next time they didn't cry at all. But other than that, it's just a big deal, and they overcome that fear so quickly. So it's incredible. It's incredible to see them. And most of them, like you said, have not been around horses their whole life, or some of them even seen one until they come to treat. So
wow, that's quite an experience for them. It's great. We appreciate what you do. Now, you're a horsewoman. You come from an agriculture background, a ranching family. Texas leads the nation in a number of horses. Why do you think the equine industry is so important here in Texas?
Oh gosh, you know, when you just look at the history of the equine industry in the state of Texas and the economic impact, that alone speaks for itself, I believe. But I also, you know, as I thought about that question, you know, there is something about being Texan, right? When you go anywhere, and definitely people see you from out of country, out of state, and you tell them you're from Texas, they assume you know how to ride a horse, whether you do or not. There's people here that don't, right? But there's something about that. It's just who we are. And yes, the history, yes, the economic impact that it has, but man, being Texan is just part of being a cowboy, right? Being around horses, so.
Now, our viewers watching this, I know they've got questions rolling around their head. You talked about the volunteers being students. Mm-hmm. Number one, do you have outside volunteers that can come in from the community? And where do these horses come from? Could someone gift a horse to the program if they think, you know, it might be a candidate? And how do you screen those? Okay.
Yes, we have outside volunteers. So we actually have quite a few just from our community that whether they're retired or just adults in different professions that come and volunteer. We also accept horses. We're always looking to improve our herd in the best way that we can serve our clients. That being said, when they come in, we have a whole donation process where we screen, we make sure their temperament's okay, they're healthy, but that process is simple, very simple. I've got horses from all over, have all kinds of different backgrounds, whether that be ranching, rodeo, cutting. We've even had some off the racetrack come and work for us. So,
just real quick, how would people volunteer? Where can you send them to sign up? How would they donate a horse?
Yes,
where do they go to find that? Just real quick.
So we have a website at Tarleton. Is www.tarleton.edu/treat. There is lots of information on how to contact us. We have a donation policy there, but that's the best way to get a hold of us. So.
All right, wrapping up. Why do you think Texas agriculture matters?
Oh, Commissioner, because without it, we don't have anything, right? In the state of Texas, being one of the top producers in agriculture, without it, we can't feed, right? The state of Texas alone feeds and clothes all of Texas. Sure. And in addition to that, we also feed and clothe most of this nation. So that's why it matters. Without it, we don't have anything, right?
It does matter. Shelby, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
And thank you for what you do at Tarleton with the treat program and the services that y'all provide. Now, let's take a look at another one of our great Go Texan partners. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
Well, we began by making pecans for our family as Christmas gifts when my husband and I first got married in 1990. And that was what we were doing for 26 years, every year. Got our kids involved. But then in 2016, one of our sons had a really bad accident, but he was fine. After about 6 months, he was healed and wanted to do something good. Ended up getting with an organization in Georgia where he needed to raise some money to be an intern. So we said, why don't you just make and sell those pecans we've been making all these years? And he did, and he made a bunch of money. I looked at my husband and said, hey, we're gonna have 3 kids in college. Maybe I can make a business out of this. So that was 2016. So I signed up at a church craft fair, and at the first one sold 150 jars of candied pecans. So we learned that other people like to also give our pecans as Christmas gifts, but they also like them just as a snack because it's a good snack, it's a healthy snack, it's the Texas state nut. At the time, I was also volunteering for an organization called Unbound. Unbound is a local nonprofit. They fight human trafficking by survivor advocacy, community education, awareness. And so when we wanted to give part of our profits away, 10% of our profits, it was natural that I would give it to Unbound. The business started doubling in profits every year. And I realized, okay, maybe this can go somewhere. And I also loved what I was doing. I was interacting with people. I was becoming a community advocate, raising awareness for human trafficking. We started looking at how this could grow. And it really wasn't until about 4 years in that someone contacted me saying they wanted to candy their pecans. At that point, I was just buying my pecans from a local big box store. When that was the case, I couldn't be in like farmers markets and places like that. Well, once I started sourcing my pecans from their pecan farm, that allowed me to get into farmers markets. Then I started getting into bigger craft fairs. All of a sudden, everything opened up. So we source our pecans from Rio Grande Pecans. They're in Crystal City, Texas. They have both conventional and organic pecans, but their whole pecan farm is committed to sustainable farming practices. And that allowed me to be a Go Texan partner. The fact that I source my pecans from a Texas pecan farm. I realized, wow, this could be really big. I had a need, and the Abundant Harvest Kitchen provided. They are the largest commercial kitchen in Montgomery County, and I needed a lot of space because I do between 130 and 40 pounds of pecans each time I rent kitchen space. But more than that, I like to partner with them because their vision is in line with my vision.
The Abundant Harvest Kitchen has a very simple mission, and it's diverted in a couple different ways. One, we feed the body, nourish the soul, and transform the community. So when Karen comes in and rents our kitchen like anybody else can do, all the profit we made from Karen will go right back into helping veterans, helping our food pantry, incubate businesses, which is something else we do, provide free legal care to the community, which is something we do, anything we do that's considered a charitable initiative.
And I love the people here. It's a positive energy, and I love being a part of it. So it's a win-win coming up here.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about equine-assisted therapy and its positive influence on the youth here in Texas. Now, connecting with horses and animals gives children the chance to learn about equine science, compassion, and actually respect for all life. When a child becomes part of the herd, they're instantly accepted for who they are. Happy trails, folks. And as always, I'd like to say thanks to every Texas farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to help keep our rural heritage alive. Finally, here's today's cowboy logic. You know, you should live every day as if it was your last, because one of these days, you're going to be right. Thank you and God bless. And remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.